Welcome back to the Primitive Camping and Bushcraft podcast. Today is Fundamental Fridays, and we use this time to go over fundamental skills that you can use to make your primitive camping trips better, more fun, and more interesting. So hang tight, pull up a chair, and let's get to it. All right, so I'm going to test a theory today, and what I've done is I've marked the directions on my compass using my map, and I'm going to walk through the woods, a mile through the woods to a location looking for a camera or something like that. And I am going to see how far off target I am just by following just the compass.
Now, the compass has seen various upgrades in over 2,000 years, but its function remains the same to tell you what direction you're traveling. Now, in the front of the compass, you have a travel arrow. Now, this is basically going to give you the direction of which you're traveling. Now, different brands use different styles of travel arrows, but they all work similarly by pointing in the direction that you're going to walk. Now, your compass should have a magnetized needle. No matter which way you turn your compass, that needle is always going to face to magnetic north. Now, the orienting arrow right here shows you where magnetic north is in relation to true north, and it's used to orient your compass. Now, the azimuth ring is the ring around your compass, which basically has measurements from 0 all the way around to 360 degrees. On most modern compasses, this ring will freely turn and allows you to box your needle and take a bearing simultaneously.
And what we'll be doing is you hold your compass level, obviously, put it in the box right here, and that arrow is which way we need to go, straight through there. So I'm going to follow this trail as best I can and see how it's taking us.
Now, this compass also has a little magnifying area here, so you can actually see a little bit better on there. You could probably actually use that to start a fire on a sunny day. Now, every compass is going to be different, but this particular one has different units of measurement on the sides. You got inches over here, you got centimeters over here. Now, inside here, you have different scales for different scales on your map, like a 1 in 50,000th right here, the 1 in 24,000ths, and that's what we're going to use to orient with this map right here. And then over here, you have 1 in 20,000ths and then 1 in 25,000ths. Now, on this particular compass, there's a tool on the lanyard, and that tool works with this little screw hole right here and allows you to help set your declination. And we're not going to go too deep in declination in these tutorials, but I'm going to show you how to set this compass up with this map. Now, in my book, Primitive Camping and Bushcraft, I go over how to use the compass and using this exact compass, how to set it up, and also how to use a topographical map.
Now, let's do the disclaimer here that this is just giving you a generalized direction of travel. This is not giving you this is not like a GPS. It's not like you just throw it in there on your compass and it'll bring you to right where you're going. So you have to pay attention to your landmarks. You have to know something about the area, or you have to pay attention to the map to know the landmarks that you're walking through. It's not, you can still end up lost with a compass and a map if you don't know how to use it, you don't know where you're at.
Now, topographical maps show a 3D landscape on 2D paper. So essentially what's happening is by using these contour lines here, you're getting a top-down perspective. So right here, this is the top of a little hill. Down here is the bottom of a bottom. So you're slowly going downhill here. So what happens is when the lines are close together, the landscape is steep. So right here, it's real steep in between here. And when they're further apart, it is more of a gradual increase or decrease depending if you're going downhill or uphill.
All right, coming up on the dry creek bed. You know what's funny is out here on this wildlife area, all the dry creek beds look the same. This one here is real deep compared to the rest of them. All
right. And that's the direction that we got to walk. So we got to cross this creek and go straight ahead.
Every fifth contour line is darker and thicker. So these lines are called the index line. And there's a number on these lines. See that 250 and that 200 right there? Now these numbers on these lines designate the elevation change. And if you were to draw a line on the map from here to here, you would know that you're going from 250 feet to 200 feet. So you're going down 50 feet. Now, dependent on the scale and brand of your map, the contour lines will have an interval of 10 to 80 feet between them. USGS maps, which this is from the USGS websites, typically have a 10-foot contour interval, meaning that each line is 10 foot in elevation lower or higher than the previous one. Now, the map scale is determined by the publisher. And if you look at the bottom of your map, like right here, it'll typically have a ratio of either 1/24,000 or 1/26,000. Now, some maps may vary, but the 1 is a 1 inch. All right. So the 1 in this ratio is 1 inch, and the 24,000 is 24,000 inches in real life. So if you go 1 inch from this line to here, that is 24,000 inches right there in real life. Now, larger scales right here are going to show less detail on the map than a smaller scale map. So the smaller the scale, the better idea of the terrain that you're going to be in.
So the compass is off a touch compared to the GPS, but that is just going off on the eyeball. We didn't do anything for like strict measurements or anything like that. So, all right, let me get to the camera and then we'll turn around and head back to the truck. All right, there we are, right there. There's the camera. And here is the area. I got this tree. Last year there was rubs and scrapes all the way around this tree right here. And I still get the occasional deer coming through here. More so coming through here. So I'm thinking about changing the direction. Majority of all this right here, believe it or not, is a bunch of turkey traffic. Tons of turkeys. So, and, all right, so now I'm going to plot a course back from this camera back to my truck. For me, fortunately, I know these woods, the majority of these woods anyhow, and I could get to where I want to go. So I came out here with just the map to show you guys how to get to where I'm going. I've never walked to that camera with just a compass before. And so it's reassuring in the event that your GPS or your phone going to die. Realistically, are you going into the woods without your phone? No, you're not. Most people are not. But what happens is the battery will die. Now, let's do the disclaimer here that this is just giving you a generalized direction of travel. This is not giving you this is not like a GPS. It's not like you just throw it in there on your compass and it'll bring you to right where you're going. So you have to pay attention to your landmarks. You have to know something about the area, or you have to pay attention to the map to know the landmarks that you're walking through. It's not, you can still end up lost with a compass and a map if you don't know how to use it, you don't know where you're at.
Thanks for sitting around the fire with me today. If this episode gave you something to think about, if it helped you feel a little bit more prepared, or it even stirred your faith a tiny bit, go ahead and share it with someone else who might need it as well. We don't go camping to run away from life. We come out here to slow down and to recharge. So grab another log, throw it on the fire, and remember this. In all your ways, acknowledge Him, and He will direct your path. I'll see you next time. God bless you.